latch is sealed against the wind. Deck lights stay low along the rail. Ice stretches beyond the pylons into darkness. Nothing is about to shift. Let the place hold its own rhythm. Details can pass without sticking. Only the steady parts remain. A narrow service corridor runs under the deck. Wall panels hold a dry, cold sheen. No latch clicks open. A pressure gauge near the inner door holds steady. The needle does not drift. The glass stays clear. Outside the window, the sea is black and flat. A thin line of pack ice rests at the horizon. No wake reaches the platform legs. A beacon on the far mast blinks once, then pauses. It does not brighten the ocean. It only marks distance. On the console shelf, a log sheet rests under a clear cover. The last entry is dated. No new line is written. A pen remains clipped beside it. The clip stays tight. Nothing moves it. Along the handrail, frost sits in a thin edge. It does not spread. It does not fall. A safety ring hangs on its hook. The strap stays straight. No buckle taps. Below the deck, a pump keeps a low, even tone. It does not surge. It does not fade. A relay clicks once in the cabinet. One click. Then the same hum returns. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The platform holds its night state above the frozen sea line, steady and unchanged, through the long hours before morning. In the generator bay, the test switch cover stays down. A label reads, "Do not run." Letters remain sharp. A fuel gauge needle holds its mark. No drift appears. The case remains dry. At the comm panel, link stays stable. Green remains on. No warning color appears. A headset rests on its hook. The cord hangs straight. No indicator flashes. Outside, wind moves across the ice without lifting it. Snow dust stays settled on the ridgeline. No plume rises from the deck. A thin drip line at the gutter remains empty. No water gathers. No click of falling drops. Along the deck edge, reflective paint stays bright under the lamps. It does not flicker. It guides no one. A coil of rope rests in neat loops by the stair. The loose end stays tucked. Nothing unravels. A camera dome watches the walkway. Its indicator stays faint. It does not rotate. On the monitor, the outer deck remains empty. No shadow crosses the frame. No door opens. A ladder down to the lower catwalk remains unused. Rungs stay dry. No boot touches the metal. A warning plate reads, "Icy surface." The plate stays bolted. No corner lifts. Far out on the dark water, a buoy light blinks once, then darkness returns. The blink does not change the sea. The platform keeps its low lights. The ice keeps its hard line. The wind keeps passing. A soft, settling sound comes once from the rail joint, not repeated. Then stillness returns. The pressure gauge remains steady. The pump hum remains even. The hatch stays sealed. Air moves through a vent grill in a slow loop. It stays cold. It stays clean. The corridor remains quiet. The deck remains clear. And the polar platform continues to hold its calm above the frozen sea line. In the galley corner, a kettle sits on a cold plate. The switch remains off. No steam rises. A stack of mugs rests in a rack. Handles face the same direction. Nothing clinks. Near the emergency cabinet, a flare box remains sealed. The latch stays centered. The seal tag hangs flat. A laminated card lists procedures. The print remains clear. No finger traces the lines. A winch drum rests beside the stairwell door. Cable wraps remain tight and even. No motor engages. A hook hangs in open air. It does not sway. It stays exactly where it was left. On the weather screen, a bar shows steady wind. The number holds. No warning icon appears. A second screen shows sea temperature. Digits remain unchanged. The backlight stays low. Along the ceiling, insulation panels hold their seams. No rattle comes from them. No dust falls. A small light over the hatch frame stays blue. It does not blink faster. It does not dim. Outside, the ice edge remains a hard white line. It does not break into pieces. It does not drift closer. A distant ridge of pressure ice sits like a low wall. No crack sound reaches the deck. At the rail, a thin frost pattern gathers on a bolt head. It catches light once. Then it becomes dull again. The bolt remains tight. The rail remains still. A soft tone comes from the comm unit once. Not a call. A routine keep alive. Then silence returns to the speaker. The link light remains stable. Under the deck, the pump cycles again. The change is slight. Then the same low tone returns. No vibration reaches the corridor floor. The plates remain flush. Near the outer door, a life raft canister rests in its bracket. Straps remain tight. No buckle shifts. A warning label reads, "Pull to deploy." Letters remain sharp. Nothing touches it. The deck remains dry. The sky remains dark. The pattern holds. Quiet. The deck lights keep their low line along the rail. No beacon changes its rhythm. No door releases at the stairwell. Wind passes over the ice and moves on. It does not push spray against the legs. It does not carry grit across the deck. Inside the corridor, panels keep another dry sheen. Seams remain tight. No latch clicks. At the COM panel, link stays stable. Green remains on. No warning color appears. A speaker grill stays silent. No voice arrives. No test tone plays. Outside the window, the frozen sea line remains fixed. The pack ice holds its pale edge. Dark water stays beyond it. A buoy blinks once, then fades. The blink does not travel closer. It only marks distance. At the rail joint, frost remains thin on the bolt heads. It does not fall. It does not spread. A safety ring remains on its hook. The strap stays straight. No buckle taps. Under the deck, the pump tone continues. It rises slightly for a moment, then returns to its baseline. A relay confirms the cycle once. One click. Then the same low hum again. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The platform keeps holding its night state above the frozen line, steady and unchanged, while hours pass without being noticed. Near the hatch, the blue light stays steady. It does not blink faster. It does not dim. The seal tag remains flat. No corner lifts. No hand reaches for the wheel. In the galley corner, mugs remain in their rack. Handles face the same direction. No metal clinks. The kettle stays cold on its plate. The switch remains off. No steam rises. At the winch drum, cable wraps remain even. No motor engages. No tension shifts. The hook hangs in open air. It does not sway. It stays centered. On the weather screen, the wind number holds. No icon appears. The backlight stays low. Sea temperature digits remain unchanged. No update jumps on the line. Along the ceiling, insulation panels remain still. No rattle comes from the seams. No dust falls. A small vent grill releases a slow loop of air. It stays cold. It stays clean. Outside, the ridge of pressure ice remains a low wall. No crack sound reaches the deck. No new shadow crosses it. The ice edge stays hard and bright in the lamp spill. It does not drift. A soft keep alive tone sounds once from the comm unit. Not a call, just confirmation. Then the speaker returns to silence. The link light remains stable. Near the outer door, the life raft canister stays in its bracket. Straps remain tight. No buckle shifts. The deployment label remains readable. Nothing touches it. A faint settling sound comes once from the stairwell frame. Not repeated. Then stillness returns. The deck remains dry. The corridor remains quiet. And the polar platform continues above the frozen sea line. On the monitor wall, the outer walkway remains empty. The camera view does not refresh into motion. Only the same lamps and rail posts. A thin line of snow dust rests at the deck edge. It does not lift. It stays pressed to the paint. At the emergency cabinet, the latch remains centered. The seal tag stays intact. No hinge shifts. A laminated card remains behind clear plastic. Print stays sharp. No finger traces it. In the battery bay, charge bars hold their level. No bar drops. No charger fan surges. A small indicator remains green. A second lamp remains off. No tone sounds. Along the ladder down to the lower catwalk, rungs remain dry. No boot touches the metal. No tool bag opens at the landing. A warning plate stays bolted to the rail. Letters remain clear. No corner lifts. Outside, the sky stays dark without stars. Cloud cover remains thin and uniform. No moonlight reaches the ice. The beacon on the mast blinks again, then pauses. The rhythm stays measured. A narrow drain groove runs toward a grate. The grate remains clear. No water follows the line. The gutter seam stays quiet. No drip begins. Near the console shelf, a laminated diagram stays under a clear sleeve. Lines show valve positions and shutoffs. Nothing is adjusted. A grease pencil remains capped. It does not roll. It stays where it was set. Under the deck, a second pump cycles. The change is small. Then the same low tone returns. No vibration reaches the corridor floor. Plates remain flush at the seams. At the rail, a thin salt haze rests on the outer glass of the windscreen. It does not clear. It does not spread. Reflections of the deck lights remain soft. They do not shift into shapes. Far out beyond the ice edge, darkness holds steady. No vessel light approaches. No wake line appears. Only the buoy blinks once more. Then nothing. The platform keeps its calm watch. A final relay confirms power in the cabinet. One click, then silence. The screens remain steady. The hatch stays sealed. Wind passes above the dome of ice and moves on. Inside, the corridor holds its quiet air. Nothing changes its state. The beacons keep their slow blink. The frozen line stays firm. Still, no change. The beacon repeats its slow blink over the rail posts. No new light appears beyond the ice edge. The deck remains clear of footprints. Inside the corridor, air stays dry and cold. The vent loop keeps its quiet line. Nothing shifts in the panels. At the comm panel, the link lamp remains steady. No reconnect begins. No channel opens. A small audio meter rests near zero. It does not spike. The speaker grill stays silent. Outside the window, the pack ice holds its hard boundary. Dark water sits beyond it without motion. The buoy light blinks once, then disappears again. The blink feels distant. It does not approach. It only returns on its own rhythm. Near the stairwell, the hatch seal remains intact. The tag stays flat against the rim. No latch moves. A thin frost seam rests along the handle plate. It stays thin. It does not spread. At the winch drum, cable wraps remain even. No tension builds. No motor engages. A hook hangs in open air. It does not sway. It stays centered beneath the arm. In the galley corner, the mug rack remains unchanged. Handles face the same direction. No cup shifts. A packet of tea rests unopened by the kettle. Foil stays smooth. No scent rises. On the weather screen, wind holds its steady number. No warning icon appears. The backlight stays low. Sea temperature digits remain unchanged. No update jumps on the line. Along the ceiling, insulation panels keep their seams. No rattle comes from the joins. No dust falls. A small light over the hatch frame remains blue. It does not brighten. It does not dim. Outside, pressure ice remains a low ridge at the edge of lamp spill. No crack reaches the deck. No new shadow crosses the white. A thin veil of cloud stays uniform above the platform. The sky does not open. The darkness remains flat. Under the deck, the pump tone rises briefly, then settles back to its baseline. The change is small and contained. A relay confirms the cycle once. One click. Then the cabinet returns to quiet hum. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The platform keeps its calm state above the frozen line, steady and unchanged, as the night holds its slow pattern. Near the emergency cabinet, the latch remains centered. The seal stays intact. No hinge shifts. A laminated procedure card remains behind clear plastic. Print stays sharp. No finger traces the lines. On the monitor wall, the outer walkway remains empty. Rail posts repeat in a straight line. Light pools stay fixed on paint. A thin drift of snow dust rests at the edge. It does not lift. It stays pressed to the deck. At the battery bay, charge bars hold their level. No bar drops. No fan surges. A small indicator remains green. A second lamp stays off. No tone sounds. By the lower catwalk ladder, rungs remain dry. No boot touches the metal. The warning plate stays bolted. Letters remain clear. Corners remain flat. Nothing loosens there. Outside, the mast beacon blinks again. Blink. Dark. Blink. The rhythm stays measured. The deck does not respond. The frozen sea line remains firm. A drain groove leads to a clear grate. No water follows the line. The gutter seam remains quiet. No drip begins. No drop falls. At the console shelf, a diagram remains under a clear sleeve. Lines show valves and shutoffs. Nothing is adjusted. A grease pencil remains capped. It does not roll. It stays where it was set. Under the deck, a second pump cycles once. The tone shifts by a fraction. Then it returns. No vibration reaches the corridor floor. Plates remain flush at the seams. At the windscreen, salt haze holds on the outer pane. It does not clear. it does not spread. Reflections of deck lights stay soft. They do not form shapes. Far beyond the ice edge, darkness holds steady. No vessel light appears. No wake line forms. The buoy blinks once more and fades. The platform remains quiet. A final cabinet relay confirms power. One click. Then stillness again. The link lamp remains stable. The hatch remains sealed. And the night continues above the frozen sea line. Near the outer door, a pair of work gloves rests on a shelf. Their fabric stays dry. No strap shifts. A small flashlight remains off in its cradle. The lens stays clear. No switch moves. At the life raft bracket, straps remain tight across the canister. The buckle stays centered. The label remains readable. Nothing is pulled. Nothing releases. In the corner, a metal clipboard box stays latched. Its lid sits flat. No paper is removed. A pencil inside remains unused. The hinge stays quiet. Outside, ice holds its bright edge under the lamps. Inside, steel holds its seams. The air stays even. The beacon repeats its slow blink. The platform remains unchanged. A soft settling sound comes once from a pipe clamp. Not repeated. Then the corridor returns to baseline quiet. No door opens. No signal changes. Only the low light and cold air remain. The frozen line stays firm. The blink continues.